Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
is on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Now they go empty, and McCaffrey goes right. It is Garoppolo looking. Garoppolo under pressure, throws to the back of the end zone. Caught by Christian McCaffrey. Touchdown! CMC!
Dynamite!
One, just got it snapped in time. Inside handoff. McCaffrey finds a crack. Gets wide. 10, 5, 10. No, he got nailed on the goal line. Is he in? He's right on the goal line. What a run by Christian McCaffrey! They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown!
Hey.
Breezy,
Mo's Nose, Season 3, PG, It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you nine at all. We two gorilla silverback, nah, silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win, the faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall.
I'm doing that bankhead bounce, that second place. We got the second
place swing.
That swing. They got to come through Santa Clara if they want to declare anything, which not going to happen. What's going on, Mose? What's going on, Fair? How my brothers doing?
Man,
you tell me.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. How about yourself?
Well, it's good. I'm doing great, man. I'm gonna pass the mic to my man Mose. Like what's going on, Playboy?
Chilling, bro. Can't call it.
Can't call it. Everybody out there, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Nitty Gritty Niners Talk. We are back. It's Monday night. I think Peachy's a little bit under the weather. She's recovering. I'm not sure if she's gonna jump in, but if she does, she will be here. But again, we're here. We're back. We're gonna do something different because we're gonna kind of like talk about what we liked about this game. We kind of did that last night, so we're not gonna spend too much time on this game. It's time to preview because the 49ers are in the playoffs. They finished 13-4. They're in the playoffs, and they control their own destiny, right? Because if the 49ers win, or when the 49ers win, the next team that comes there has to go there to play. And so it doesn't matter what that team is other than the Eagles. The Eagles get the home field, 49ers get home field, and then we got something to really scrap about. So we're going to get down to that, man. It's good to see my brothers on here. Peachy, we praying for you. I hope you get well soon. Hit the like button, guys. Comment and subscribe. There's the YouTube, man. That's the handle right now. You don't even got to type in the whole URL address anymore. You could just type in the handle at the Wayne Breezy. That's where you'll find the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk Show. It airs every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So if you guys love this show, make sure you hit that like button, man. This is when the crew comes together. It's crew love. You can also follow, watch, and subscribe on Twitch as well. For those that are Twitch watchers out there, you like to watch on Twitch, man, if that's your thing, do your thing, man. But you can subscribe for free using your Amazon Prime account, and there's the link right there below as well. Don't forget to give a follow on Twitter and Instagram. You dig? All right, at NGN Talk for both. All right, and don't forget to join the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk group. We got a group, we got a page. We're posting on both. Miss Debbie, you did another great job. Top hats off to Miss Debbie. She did another great job on another season of Nitty Gritty Niners. The group is definitely growing. And this week's giveaways is going to be crazy. Shout out to Jerome. I believe he's the winner of the score prediction. And then Jacqueline was the winner of the December, monthly award. So congratulations to them as well. You know what I'm saying? And look, man, let's do this quick recap of what we saw. Niners won 38-13. But it wasn't it ended well, but it wasn't a high fashion win. There were still some mistakes. There were still some things that the 49ers got to do to get themselves together. What were your thoughts, on the win? I know a win is a win, but give me something different, man. 38-13 was the final score.
For me, just kind of how we started out, man. It's a little frustrating. I get it, they had the trick play and all that, but man, it's one of those 50-50 balls that you hope Demo makes, man. And again, a safety in the back end missing a tackle, and a big play is what occurs for the Kingsbury Cliffs Cardinals. But beyond that, I think that one good thing is that the defense responded, right? They responded. They ended up getting a bunch of turnovers yesterday and playing well for the most part for the rest of the game. But, I just want to see something where we come out and get a stop and can get that first score and kind of really set the tone for these playoffs.
Yeah, I like that, man. Mose, anything different?
Something different. Yeah, I don't know if there's much I can add different. Maybe and along the lines with the slow start, I'll mention competitive fire. And I think some of the players mentioned that they kind of got lost in the fact that, it's the Arizona Cardinals. They've been stinking the joint out. They starting David Blau. They don't have anything to play for. So, they're not going to come and give us their all. So we can really just walk in here, walk out with a W, and then get ready for the playoffs. And I think we've been trying to tell people all season that one of the biggest factors in this game beyond physical ability is the mental, is where's your mind at? Will this affect us? I think we have a seasoned enough team to where going into the playoffs, understanding that everything we did in the season led to this point. We wanted to get to this point, make it into the tournament, put ourselves in the best possible position, and now everybody's 0-0. But, if we weren't as seasoned of the team and if we haven't been here before, I would be a little bit concerned. If that week 18 game wasn't a game that allowed us to really be on our game mentally and have to fight forward, and then we carry that into the playoffs, I would be worried. But I would just say competitive fire, and I believe some of the players mentioned that maybe this game, their heads weren't on as they needed to be, just with the circumstances, everything surrounding the game.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, what's crazy is a lot of times you see these players who really aren't playing for anything, and it's hard for you to kind of get up against a team like that, man. But that truly shows the type of character and the type of commitment that this team has. They definitely started off with that low, but once it starts rolling and they get in the battlefield, that switch hits on and they just turn into the players that we expect. But again, just going off that, Mose, yeah, agreed, man. Just want to see that start from the beginning right away.
I'm trying to go back through my mental Rolodex, and I'm trying to figure out when we saw that. When did the 49ers just always seem to be they've always seemed to have been an adjustment type team if things go their way. So they've seemed to be the type of team that likes to be in control. They like to kick off the ball, right? When they kick off the ball, they like to be able to dictate how that first quarter goes. So it's not about scoring on the first drive. It's about making sure that they finish the half with the momentum. Then, because they know they're going to get the ball back. So then the second drive is the most important drive, because that's going to sit there and kind of like either make teams play a little bit differently and have to adjust, or like, you know what I'm saying? And so like for me, like the 49ers have seemed consistent in starting slow. And it's weird, right? Because you're like, we're missing that Niners team that's just going to come out and punch you in the mouth and score 30 points in the first quarter and then make the team find a way to come back. Like, I think that's what we're kind of like used to. If we going back into the lineage of the San Francisco 49ers, it's a different team. And I think Mo said, like, they're built to adjust. Like, I think that they're built to like sustain. And if they had to play a game where they had to dig deep, like that Raiders guy, I don't care what anybody say, they should have lost that Raiders game. Ain't no way in the world they should have won that game. By the way that they were playing, slow start, offense was keeping them in the game, defense couldn't stop anything. It was weird. This game, let me ask you guys this question. Would you say which side was stronger, defense or offense?
Offense.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. But here's why. I think it was Leslie, right? That was on yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. So she said it. I think the trick play, that was the moment where, whether it was Kyle, whether it was D'Amico, whether it was the players themselves, it was the trick play that woke everybody up and was like, all right, bro, like, let's stop playing. Because that following drive, we marched the ball right down the field. I was sitting here with my father-in-law. He saw the play, and, you know, Cowboys fan, he's talking about, looking kind of shaky. And then we get the ball, and we march right down the field, and we put up 7. I said, I'm not worried about that. Like, as a fan, I'm telling him I'm not worried about that. So I think offense was just a little bit stronger because the punch in the mouth the defense got woke up everybody. So then everybody strapped in and was like, okay, let's go out here, let's get this done, and let's, you know, get out of here and get ready for our wild card round matchup. So for me, the offense was better. I know the defense, they kind of locked in after that trick play. They only allowed one more score. But for me, the offense just seemed to be rolling just a little bit more efficiently after the defense got punched in the mouth first.
Okay. Fair? Anything different? Because you hit him with the really, wasn't sure if he was going to go with the defensive side being the stronger side.
Yeah, I think after that first initial drive, man, the defense tightened up. The defense got the ball back for the 49ers offense, and they just kind of played like their hair was on fire for the most part after that first drive. So if you wipe out that drive and then just consider the rest of the game, Arizona didn't do much of anything.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I asked that question, I mean, we dig back to some of the episodes, and it was like, you know, which side is going to be that stronger side, you know, as the regular season continues to strive on. And so now we're getting into the playoffs. Like, we're going to be going into the playoffs where all 3 phases of the 49ers team has to be somewhat on their P's and Q's. They got to cross their T's and dot their I's, right?
For sure.
So if you listen to a lot of the players and the pressers, bros, it was like, yo, we can't make these mistakes. Like, we can't make these silly mistakes, because if we're playing a more superior type of a team, like, these mistakes can haunt us, right? And it's, you know, I don't want to pick a side, but like, I think both of you are right, but it's just weird because I felt like the defense got back to the defense. So the punch in the mouth, I don't think it was a punch in the mouth. It was more like a sucker punch, right? A punch in the mouth, you know, you see it coming. The sucker punch, you don't know it's coming. And they just found a way to respond to a sucker punch, bro. Like, I ain't never been sucker punched, but they found a way to get sucker punched not just give up the big play, but then give up a touchdown. You had 3 players on that one play that couldn't stop one guy. Come on.
Right.
3 players on that one play. And I'm not saying that wasn't the fire starter modes that you're saying, but the defense was locked in after that. How do you prepare your defense to not get sucker punched? I guess that's the question I'm asking. Because last year, the special teams would get sucker punched. There was trick plays, and I there's relevant to why I'm bringing this up, because now we're playing Pete Carroll for the 3rd time. He pulled 0 tricks in both games.
Right. And right away.
Better on the audio.
Right away when that play happened in Arizona, I was like, I know Pete's gonna try something.
Right.
And he's not gonna try it on the first play or in the first quarter.
No.
He's gonna pull something mid-second quarter, mid-third quarter, maybe even in the fourth. He's gonna try to pull something, especially if this game is close, right?
For sure.
So I think, how do you stop your defense from getting sucker punched? It's reading your keys. It's understanding, what the offense is trying to do normally. And then if you see any abnormalities, like D'Amico said about Huff, if you see anything abnormal, don't have dirty eyes.
Yeah.
Read your keys, do your job, stay where you're supposed to be, and everything should work itself out. You stay where you're supposed to be, you're in position, then you can read and react based off of what you're seeing, and you're not out of position. So I think that's how you can, keep your defense from getting sucker punched. A lot of times it really just it happens based off of, it not being something that you're prepared for. It's not being something that you've seen on film or you're thinking that they're going to do. But a lot of times it's stuff like, a flea flicker, some type of double pass. It's maybe you haven't seen it on tape or on film from this particular team, but you've seen it throughout football. You've seen other teams do it. You've probably been on a team that has done it. So you kind of know what it looks like. So read your keys, understand your assignment, be where you're supposed to be, and then read and react later. Don't have dirty eyes, read too soon, and allow you to be out of position.
Man.
Keep going. Go ahead. You got it.
I'm going to say one of the best ways to not get sucker punched is to have your guard up, like to try to block it.
But
you know what I mean? A sucker punch you don't see coming, man. But if you're always ready, you don't get sucker punched.
Yeah.
For me, it's as simple as our safeties have to be better. Our safeties are just that word. They cannot continuously get burnt in the back end, yo. And I don't even care about the big play, but Gibson got to make that tackle after. I mean, you have to make that tackle after. It's one thing if AJ Green gets you on a 50-50 ball, you know what I mean? He jumps over Demo and gets that ball. He makes a great play, cool. But it don't need to be a 77-yard touchdown. It can just be a 30, 40-yard pass. It don't have to be a touchdown there.
See, I agree with that. That I'm not disagree with that. But the discourse to that is like, what really happened on that? Oh, look at God. Look at how. Oh no, come back, God. I messed up. I didn't mean to. I was just saying, look at you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Can I get a moment?
Yeah.
GSU just agreed with me. The sky's about to fall.
Uh-oh.
Something is wrong. Something is off.
Ready.
Something is off. GSU just agreed with me.
All right, so
that had to be a New Year's resolution, bro. That's got to be something he's working on for the new year, bro.
He ain't working on it with me, so y'all enjoy this joint, yo. All right, this is what I'm talking about.
He's an asshole.
100%.
Love him.
So I want you guys to understand where I'm going with this, right? Because I agree 100% that he has to make that tackle. Again, I don't know. He agreed that he had to make that tackle, but what in the hell was he looking at? And that's my question. So, was he watching the play? Did he get caught watching the play? Did he think that Demo came down with the ball to where he
Honestly, I think that's what he thought.
He got caught in between.
He was on the back end, and obviously AJ Green is 6'4", Diamador Noor is 5'11", right. But it looks like he got in behind. And listen, when we talk about yesterday, one of the big keys that we talked about was faith. And I think with this team, with all 11 guys on the field, there is faith in one another that you are going to do your job. So I think he saw Demo there. He saw a jump ball. He probably said, my guy is going to come down with this. If you don't come down with it, it's going to be an incomplete. There's no way AJ Green, as washed up as he is, and that's no disrespect to AJ Green. He's one of my favorite receivers. But let's keep it real. He's on the back end of his career. There's no way he's coming down with this against my guy. So, Breezy, you could be absolutely right. He could have thought, oh, my guy made the play. I really don't need to do anything. And then when he saw AJ turn around, he was backpedaling. He got, swerved. And then, you got to you're on your heels while an offensive player is coming towards you. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get juked out your shoes, and that's what happened.
All right, let's do it, because you're looking at single high coverage right here on the screen, okay? So, Sean Gibson is back here. Yep, he's playing single high cover. Looks like a cover one type of defense from the 49ers. You gotta pay attention to this formation. You can see Hufanga, which is your other safety. He's playing in the box, so he's probably going to be covering whoever this is on this side of the football, or he's looking at the 2 running backs in the back. So he adjusted.
He's got someone in the backfield.
Yes, but he ain't cheating, is what I'm trying to say. Like, he's not looking at it to like, I'm gonna give this away because if I bite on this, I'm giving up the big play. Like, you get what I'm saying? Which is what he did last week. GSU for life, slow your ass down. All right, here we go. We about to let it roll. And that's not there. Here we go. All right, boom. So we gotta pause it here because look, Hufanga didn't bite. Hufanga is looking like, all right, there's no way Hufanga's saying I'm gonna get to the quarterback. Or maybe he did bite. Maybe he
play it a little more because we do have pause it. You see that receiver that's coming across the middle?
That's the key.
He's looking at the cute quarterback, but that's his responsibility.
That's his zone right there.
So maybe he's like, okay, let me get to my depth so that I can see what the quarterback is doing. And if nothing is open, and if he doesn't pull this trigger and tries to run, and my guys right here, which looks like Kinlaw, who's that? Drake Jackson. If my guys can't get him, then I can, fill in and make that tackle.
I'm rewinding it. I'm bringing it back because I want us to watch what Gibson does. So, Gibson is supposed to bite. It's a fake. So he bites to the left. He thinks the play is going near. Right?
He can bite to the left. He shouldn't come up.
Right.
Yeah.
He can bite to the left. He shouldn't come up.
But it's not.
He's supposed to stay deeper than the deepest.
All right, because he's playing cover one. But here's the thing, right? He's playing single high. I gotta go back to this joint because Demo gets burnt. His ball's underthrown.
Because he also bites on the front.
AJ Green played that beautifully.
He engages with the block, and then Demo slows up like the play's over.
Right. And
then when AJ turns up the field and he feels him go, that's when you see Demo grab him and try to turn around and go get it.
And that's the one-on-one. And it's just he didn't have to toss my man to the shot.
Nah, he did my boy dirty.
But see, also too here, this is what's pissing me off about Demo. The Odell Beckham catch and the George Pickens catch. Those is once every 10 years.
Facts.
You're not gonna be able to play this acting like you in Cirque du Soleil trying to bend 90 degrees backwards to play the ball. Like, he mistimed his jump so terribly.
But it's also because of his bite. They bit wrong. And listen, you're gonna get this, especially from your young guys. But I think the responsibility here was definitely. All right, look, on a regular play, I don't think Tashawn Gibson bites like that. On a regular deep route, they didn't know what this was. Now, it comes back to preparation from coaching. And we don't want to probably talk about the D'Amico Ryans, but you said have your guard up. How do you have your guard up for a play you haven't seen before? So I'm just
and that's not typical from this team.
Facts. Right. And that's not Kyler Murray. That's not Colt McCoy. They didn't do this week 10. You didn't see anything like this.
They didn't do this with Colt McCoy. They didn't do this with Trace McSorley, which I would have feel like you would have done this more with Trace McSorley, because if you throw that pass back to the quarterback and they give him an option to throw it, but it's covered better, at least Trace McSorley is, outside of Kyler Murray, is your most athletic backup quarterback, where he can make something happen with his legs if the play breaks down.
See, now we
so also too, having that thought process, they ain't gonna run no running back QB backwards pass for a deep shot down the field with David Blau. Like I can pretty much guarantee this was on nobody's play sheet.
Of course,
nobody thought this was coming.
Which goes to my point on how do you prepare for this sucker punch? This is a sucker punch.
Which is what I said. Read your keys and stay in position. Like Fair said, if Kit bites on the run fake, you can move to your left.
Just you can't move forward. You can't move forward. And that's what I tell, like, even think of, like, you know, when you're playing D end, you know what I mean? There's a reverse coming potentially. You, as a D end, are you going to track the man down from your side, from your line, all the way to other numbers, the running back, if he goes that way? No, probably not, bro. Stay home, do your role. We all just said the whole key of this defense and this team is faith. Have faith that your front line and them great linebackers are going to make that tackle up front off that run play.
Absolutely.
If you stay back, and if they just so happen to break it, you're there to make the tackle. Even if they get 25, 30 yards off that, that's cool. But what you can't do is come up and allow someone to get behind you, because we're in cover one. You're the last line of defense.
You're the last line of defense.
You cannot come forward.
You're also the last line of defense on the running play too. So last line of defense means I don't need to be up where the linebackers are. Right. And if all of my guys, we got 11 guys on the field, if 8 of them go that way, the only 3 that didn't go that way were Hufanga, who was in his responsibility, Demo, who was one-on-one on AJ Green, and himself. All other 8 guys went towards the ball.
Right.
So what is the probability that you got a receiver over here, a tight end over here, a running back who's out of the play, a quarterback who's not doing nothing? So that's already 4 guys. We got 8 against 7, and one of them is the ball carrier. We have the numbers. You don't have to come up. So like Fair said, if you want to drift east and west, cool. Go sideline to sideline. Just so that to make sure you're over there in the area in the event that he breaks the first line and then the linebackers. But with the way our linebackers have been playing this year, they have given you no reason to believe that they're not going to make this play. Even Oren Burks filling in for Dre Greenlaw, when he's filled in, he hasn't given you any inclination that if a running play comes to his side, he's not going to make the play. So Gip is already not only is he past the outside hash here, he's damn near on the numbers. Now he's got to turn and bail all the way back 100%. To where if he was just 5 yards back, so not at the 35, but if he was at the 40 or the 45, instead of him having to turn and run diagonally, he just again is going east and west. And the quickest way from point A to point B is a straight line. So if he was further back, he could have just came screaming over. He probably would have outjumped AJ Green and Diamador Lenore and had his first of 3 picks instead of 2 picks.
Talk about it.
Again, it's a trick play, yo. We can talk all this Heinz shit, site bullshit, all we want. We could say that is his assignment. That's where he's supposed to be. But it looks like a run, and he bit on the run.
The question
don't contest that.
How do you prepare for this?
No,
you prepare for it by being in position.
And I get your answers. Like I get your answers. Clearly, he don't get it, or they just weren't prepared. Like it's one of those things. Like, hey man, we ain't never seen a flea flicker before, so we don't. It's from this team, so we definitely aren't going to expect it, and they threw it at the very beginning. Look, the Cardinals were going to try to do whatever they could to kind of knock the 49ers off their rocker. The difference between the Cardinals and the Raiders is that the Cardinals just don't have the same type of weapons. So the Raiders just kept going at a different weapon with an inexperienced quarterback. This inexperienced quarterback came out with that trick play and was like, you know what? They ain't never see this. I mean, this is a Kingsbury thing. He probably didn't know his job was on the line, or maybe he did. He was like, F it, let's go out there and just throw a screwball at him. If they stop it, who cares? We ain't winning nothing anyway. Like, that's the thing. I agree with you. I agree with everybody out there that's sitting here saying that his assignment is to play deep. He's single high. You got one job. That's it. You stay back, period. I don't care if he didn't move. I don't even care if he made the tackle on the run. You stay your behind back and you play that. Y'all 100% correct. It's just weird watching the trick. So it's like, damn, like, is that Dort? Who is that? Dortch? I don't know. Brown? One of them. Whoever it is, beautiful throw to Blau. Yeah, and then it's just one-on-one. Like, and you're right. You prepare for it, I guess, by just playing your damn role. And his role wasn't safety. His role was safety here, but he bit hard on the run.
He bit.
Like,
now, and a lot of times when you don't prepare for this, but you see it work in the defense's favor, that's just athleticism at its finest. I guarantee you, if Git was 24 years old and he ran a 4.3 or a 4.2, like, him biting on that means nothing. We've seen Ed Reed bait quarterbacks like this, like not being out of position because he bit, being out of position because he wanted to be out of position.
Ed Reed
and then coming all the way back across the field to intercept the ball. Like, he did that shit against Peyton Manning. Like,
Earl Thomas used to do it.
So if you have the athleticism,
Ron Woodson used to do
you can make it look like, oh, I'm out of position, take advantage of me,
which is a disguising type of a look, right? You're baiting the quarterback.
So that would be another way that you could prepare for it. You just have the athletic horses to do whatever you want to do out there. So I'm out of position, take advantage of me, and then as soon as you see him throw it, got your ass picked off. We going the other way. But Git has to know himself. And he not the same dude he was 6, 7, 8 years ago. So he don't have that same horsepower to go from 0 to 60 to get all the way from the other side of the field.
That's a big bite. That's a huge bite.
He took a huge bite and he don't got the horsepower.
Okay. That's a big bite. Like, you looking at this, you're saying like, dang, Gip. But again,
bro, it's real. Look at his stance right there.
He's trying to
everything you need to know.
He's trying.
Oh no,
I messed up.
No, on a not to knock on wood. We're not talking about risking injuries on anybody, but how his leg looked. If you're on one of them fields with bad turf, like in New York or something like that,
home, luckily.
You talking about hyperextension, maybe even torn. Look at his leg, like the joint is not straight.
Right, he just don't got the speed.
He don't have the horses to get back there.
But
he's supposed to hit him right there though.
Hold on though, because now, all right. So let's say he blew his rope. We all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
I swear to goodness, he thought that dude intercepted that ball. There's no way he wasn't there to make that tackle. Oh,
yeah, and he had a tackle when they were right about.
You saw it, right? Like before it went past this frame right here, he had the tackle. So like,
and see here, he's was on his horse, getting from
the 40 to the 40,
35 from the 35-yard line to the other 35.
But he's in the position almost, so he used all his energy to get there. So you tell me he ran out of energy to make the tackle because AJ just put a move.
It looked like he blew out a tire, bro.
He had to
run the tackle.
It looked like he overran too. Now that you think about it, right?
Yeah, he should have met where the ball went.
And then once you give AJ space, he's a wide receiver, and then bam, it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's terrible tackle. He just laid there too, like, oh man.
He didn't have to toss my man Demo like that though.
Bro, why he throw Demo like like a Christmas Story when they threw the little brother in the snow. Threw my boy down dirty.
Ooh, he
my
got
boy
hit,
dirty.
too.
But this right here, look, right there. Gip needs to go and make the tackle. Right there. Go to
He
the
should
ball.
just run right into
Go to
him.
the ball.
It's
Go
not
to the
going
ball.
to be. It's not going to be interference.
Yes.
Crack him in the chest.
Even if he did interfere, go to the ball. Go straight to the ball. Right there.
Oh, damn, Demo. That was so close.
Yeah. Demo need to not cut his fingernails next week or something. I don't know.
Here's the cool thing about this play, though, bro.
Yep.
Like the play happened, they gave up the 7 points, and then the offense went out and responded, which leads to those things. Like, yo, the offense came down there and took the lead. Matter of fact, it was 7-6. Remember, it was the screen pass to Christian McCaffrey for the touchdown.
Correct.
And so, like, these are some of the things that, you know, when I talk about the defense and I talk about the adjustments, I felt like that was his only touch. That was Lenoir's first and only touchdown he gave up all year. He gets beat on plays, but it was his first and only touchdown. It looked like a push-off to me. It was
definitely a push-off.
Definitely OPI, but, you know, they not going to call it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all Gucci. But they rebound. They responded. So the offense now has figured out ways to say, hey, if my defense gets sucker punched, if my defense gets punched in the mouth, let's go down there and punch the team back. And that's what you're getting from the 49ers offense as of now. And so this is a good thing because now we're looking at playoff football. Yeah. Because let me keep it a buck. Like the defense probably can sustain a little bit longer. This defense is a lot different than that 2019 defense, which ran out of gas.
Yeah, we're deeper. That's for sure.
Okay. Because I haven't seen this defense run out of gas yet.
I mean, the D line comes at you with waves.
Okay.
Waves, bro. Waves.
It's crazy.
360. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And you just have horses in the back end, bro.
Okay.
We have a lot of depth on that line now, and it's scary.
We got a Cowboys fan here.
You talking about the same Cowboys that didn't show up against the Commanders?
The same team we beat. Yo, the Commanders broke our fucking record, bro.
What record is that?
Every time we defeat a team, that team goes on to lose.
Commanders did too?
Well, they didn't lose right after we played them, but so far, like the Dolphins.
Oh, what you mean is they won a game?
Yeah, just like the Dolphins finally won a game.
Yeah.
But this is all on the Cowboys just laying an egg.
Yeah, like they had something to play for because they didn't know what the outcome of the Eagles game was because the Eagles game, our game, and their game all started at 4:25. So if the Eagles lost and we lost, Dallas could have been the number one seed.
Could have been a number one seed, Mose.
Yeah, for them to.
So they had something to play for.
Would they have been number one? They still would have been number one over Minnesota.
Correct.
Yeah. There it is.
Because they beat Minnesota.
Yeah,
so they have the head-to-head against them, but they also have a better conference record, I think.
Okay. Look, it's so
about that no more.
Nope. So Devontae won. Like you got to worry about, and I know y'all. Who did I say is going to be a dangerous team if you let into these playoffs? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the only reason why I said that is because no matter how bad their team is, they're still playing with the best quarterback in the league.
They got Tom.
And I don't know why people won't respect that.
Finding Evans again,
and hitting Godwin over the middle. So Godwin work in the middle. That's what we doing now. It took y'all to go 7 in whatever their record was. They get a conference. They get a divisional win. They're in the playoffs, and now they get to travel to Dallas.
No, Dallas got to travel.
No, Dallas coming to them.
Even worse.
Yeah, Dallas going to Tampa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dallas ain't getting out. Dallas ain't getting out, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction.
Okay.
Minnesota ain't getting out.
Ooh.
We just focusing on the wild card.
So that means we play the Giants.
Giants match up well against Minnesota, and they almost beat in that first game, bro.
And Tampa go to Philly then.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't think Philly want to see Tampa, Tom.
I don't think they want to see Tom, bro.
I think they rather see Dallas or the Giants.
I think they rather see them Cowboys too.
Yeah. because they want get back after that loss when the Cowboys were celebrating a lot with
it's just a better
Jalen
matchup
Hurts.
for them.
And they still almost lost that without Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Like y'all almost got beat by Gardner Minshew.
That's a good
to
point.
Follow it up by getting beat by Sam Howell.
That's a good point. Let's talk about this game coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys this question. Like how I'm excited the 49ers are playing all that good stuff. Why they give us the first game?
Bro, I don't care. Give us the first game. Let us get ours out the way. We ain't got it. That means we don't have the scoreboard watch. We ain't worried about any other games. We play our game. We set the tone for the playoff weekend, and then we go about our business and get ready for the next one. Give us the first one.
What do you worry about the extra day of rest?
There is no extra day of rest, right?
That's what I'm saying. We cut a day. We lose it.
Yeah, so we're missing a day, but it's just weird. Like we go on, we win in high fashion. We're the number 2 team. We play first. Who's the other 2 teams that play after us that night? It's the AFC game.
Jacksonville and the Chargers.
Yep.
Okay. So like, hey, it is what it is. 49ers got to go out there and do their thing. Let's talk about this game because the 49ers have beaten the Seahawks twice in one season. And look, I know some of the look, first game score was 27-7. That's the game Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo came in week 2. Jimmy Garoppolo came in and we pretty much dominated that game. You know what I'm saying? They only scored off of a block, right? It wasn't even a trick play. They got a block and they were able to get the touchdown off of that, right? And so, but the 49ers, in my opinion, controlled that game. Then on Thursday Night Football, they go to Seattle, but even though the score is 21-13, they still controlled the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, going into the fourth, the score was 21-6.
Right.
I mean, Seattle got a garbage touchdown, so the game wasn't as close as the score would indicate.
We just didn't put up as many points as we thought we could have. For some strange reason, it was a weird offensive game.
Right. 100%.
If you look at the stats, so Brock Purdy, 17 for 26, 217 yards, 2 TDs. And I'm focusing on this game because this was the Brock Purdy game, opposed to focusing on that first one where it was more Jimmy. Correct. If you want to just give Jimmy the credit. But this is the game. Christian McCaffrey, 26 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown. They couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him when he's with Carolina. They couldn't stop him as a 49er.
No.
George Kittle got his 2 touchdowns in this game, almost had 100 yards. This was a game where the receiving was low, and that's why the score was low. Right? Remember, it was just Kittle. It was Kittle, and then Jawan Jennings had 31 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 30. Brandon Ayuk had 19 yards in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't from a defensive perspective that Seattle was trying to, shut them out because we were able to run. We controlled the game. How do you think this game is going to be any different if you guys think it's going to be different at all? We'll do the 49ers come out again and dominate the game. Guys that are giving super chat contributions, we promised we were going to get to those. We're going to do a segment toward the end of the show. Got you.
Yes.
I don't feel this game is going to be any different than the previous 2 games. If you look, the first game, we compiled 189 yards on the ground, only holding them to 36. Second game, we compiled 170, only holding them to 70. I think we are going to run the football. Yes. I think McCaffrey is healthy. He's firing on all cylinders. And if we want to diminish the impact that the offensive line can have from a pass pro perspective, we run the football. So 45 carries the first game, 34 carries the second game. Now we have a healthy Elijah Mitchell back. Jordan Mason is more, indoctrinated into, what we're doing offensively. We got, TDP back. So we could roll out 4 backs and give them some type of touches throughout this game to continue to wear down this defense. The Seattle defense is ranked 26. Mm-hmm. Like they are one of the bottom defenses for a reason. They're giving up an average of 150 yards rushing per game. And we eclipsed that the 2 times we played them. I feel like the only way Seattle has a chance of winning this game is stopping the run, but they haven't been able to stop anybody.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the 49ers, if you look at their defense, you said they're ranked 26. 49ers are putting up 365.6 yards per game, bro. They're averaging 26.5 points. The 49ers are the 49ers finished a top 5 offense, bro. Top 5. Top 5.
Crazy.
6,260 yards. What they do on the ground is ridiculous. So they're averaging what, 138.8 per game? And what Mo said about Elijah Mitchell, if this kid is as healthy as an ox, which is what we need him to be, my gosh, they're not going to be able to stop, because they don't even use Elijah Mitchell in the way that they're thinking they're going to use Elijah Mitchell. Or they might use Elijah Mitchell and then switch it up with CMC, but usually it's the CMC treatment, and then you hit him with the EM blunt force trauma treatment, and then you can mix him with some of that try to stop me if you want Jordan Mason treatment, and then TDP, like you said, could come in there and get you 3-4 yards to carry. It's run the ball. Fair, I got a question for you, right? So it's playoff time.
Playoffs.
The last time the 49ers were in the playoffs, and I like to dig back to that 2019, but even in 2021 when they were in the playoffs, right? We watched the 49ers try to run the ball, sustain the run. We watched Kyle Shanahan take it out of the quarterback's hand in 2019. He put it more in the quarterback's hand in 2021. What are we going to do this year? Rookie quarterback. First game.
Rookie quarterback. First game. I mean, I just wanted to first and foremost bury the old adage that it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. Since 1970, the team that has won the first 2 games actually has won the third 67% of the time, and that jumps up a little bit higher into the 70s when that team is the home team for that third game. But as far as Kyle, man, I definitely feel like he realizes and knows that he has both his weapons at running back fully healthy, and this is where he's just going to lean on them. He don't have to put too much on Brock. He can bring Brock along slowly. If Brock just happens to, be confident early on, then guess what? He's going to ride that hand, but he does not have to. We know what Kyle likes to do in the playoffs. We know what Kyle likes to do when it's crunch time. You're going to see a lot of zone, and it's going to get ugly for that Seattle defense if they are not ready to try to hold the line, man. It's going to get ugly for them.
Speaking of line, let's talk about the line, because the line is back. Kevin Givens is back. Kevin Givens is expected to practice. Here's my scenario, and tell me if y'all agree or disagree. My starting front, okay, Ebukam, Armstead, Givens, Bosa. They're my front 4.
Why not?
First down, second and long, especially on third and long.
Definitely on third.
Third and
short
long.
Run yardage, short yardage for run. Kinlaw's coming in.
I agree. I mean, and if he's as healthy as they're saying he is, which I believe he was, I believe he could have played last week. But you know how it is. Yeah. Give him the extra week. We're confident. We have faith in our players that they can go out there and do some things. You know what I'm saying? So shout out, Kevin Givens is back. Dre Greenlaw is back. Aaron Banks are expected to practice this week as well. I believe these 2 guys are going to be a healthy, good go on Saturday. What are your thoughts about these 2 players? For Fair, you take Greenlaw. Mose, you take Banks.
I mean, just really excited about Greenlaw coming back, man. We know that Aziz is a great fill-in, and he does, there's not that big of a drop-off. But with that said, Dre has been playing absolutely out of his mind. So there is still a drop-off when Greenlaw is on the field, and you could see it. Just the speed to the ball, just the aggressiveness, just playing through the echo of the whistle, that how Dre plays. That fierceness, that aggression is definitely missed on the field, and excited to see what that looks like for playoff time. He didn't get that name Big Play Dre from nowhere. That's legit, and there's a reason. He makes those plays in the biggest moments. There's no bigger moment than the playoffs. So I'm excited about what that's going to look like this week on Saturday.
I disagree. There's a big drop-off, especially in coverage. And I'm not saying Shire can't cover, but, man, I watched Shire get toasted around that side. They had a running back at a play, and he just couldn't get there. It was a penalty flag, I believe, on that play, if I'm not mistaken, though. So I think he got called back. And if it didn't get called back, he got burnt trying to cover. But I think that's where Greenlaw excels in coverage, and I think it's because of his speed. But man, shout out to Al-Shaair. He's another tackling machine, bro. Another tackling machine. Mose, what are your thoughts on Aaron Banks being back? Because Mose, before you tell me that, how do you fare the offensive line without Banks? Was it Brunskill or was it Bunskill?
Wait, say that again.
Was it Brunskill or was it Buns skill? Like, how do you fear the offensive line?
How do you feel like they did since Banks?
Without Banks?
I feel they did fine. We gave up 4 sacks, which I think is the most we've given up in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are still growing pains. And I mean, you have arguably one of the best edge rushers to ever play this game, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, going up against a rookie in Spencer Burford. But you asking me how I feel about Aaron Banks, and I actually don't want Aaron Banks back. And I'm going to take a different spin on this.
You got
has nothing to do with Aaron Banks or his ability. There is a 49ers writer who posted on Twitter something about, with Aaron Banks being out and Brunskill having to take over the left guard duties, Spencer Burford has been on his own, and now we see why there was a rotation at the right guard position. Well, Spencer Burford saw that tweet, and he had a one-word response, 3 letters. He said, bet. That's all I needed to hear from Spence. Spence wants to ball out and wants to prove that he belongs here. Now, if you ask me, he's already proved that, because we know that unless you are Mike McGlinchey, who was drafted in the first round, Kyle Shanahan does not start rookie offensive linemen. He just doesn't do it.
I see where you're going.
But Burford did enough and proved enough to show that if you need me to play this position, coach, I got you.
I see where you're going.
So while Aaron Banks has been playing amazing this year, the fire that was just lit under Spencer Burford by this tweet, which I, again, think was asinine, because you're basing that off of one game, because prior to him going up against J.J. Watt and giving up 2 sacks, Spence has only given up 1 sack all season. So now all of a sudden he gives up 2 sacks to J.J. Watt, again, first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably one of the best defensive ends who's ever played this game, going up against a rookie who's still learning and growing and progressing. You put this tweet out. So you lit a fire under him that is like, now, like, all he said was bet. So if Aaron Banks not coming back means that Spencer is the full-time right guard and he can continue to prove and earn his spot, and he can continue to barbecue, listen. But I understand it. If Banks is healthy, he's got to play, because he's been one of our best linemen this year. And that tandem of him and Trent Williams on that same side, bro, that's dangerous.
And you know what, man? Can we just use Aaron Banks as the example for folks to relax? Like, folks are calling this man a bust because he didn't play last year.
Who?
Like, Aaron Banks. Folks are saying that was a terrible pick. He's out of shape. He's this.
He disproved that already.
Already in 1 year of playing.
Yeah, but it's hindsight, bro. So like,
I understand that, but like, we just jumped to that title a little.
You draft a freaking lineman with the 2nd pick in the NFL draft, and typically them guys are good to go. Typically,
this team does not.
I'm watching offensive linemen, bro, that I wanted in this draft start and play well as motherfucker, right?
Right.
So that's why they probably was feeling some type of way. Like, yo, you got drafted. But I think what they were failing to realize was we already had the solid.
There was no lineman on the other side.
Yeah, there was no spot for him.
That's my point. Like, there aren't holes on this team. When we draft players and they rise to the top, that's just them being great. and them taking the coaching that's coming their way. But like,
and
you can't expect anyone that gets drafted to this 49ers team with this roster to start right away. That's tough. Just looking up and down on this roster. So,
and like you said, Fair,
just relax a little bit
because of having a Pro Bowler there. Like, we drafted for the future.
Correct.
We drafted knowing that when it was time for Laken Tomlinson to become a free agent,
exactly,
weren't going to have the funds to pay him because there were other contracts that we were trying to get done, other people that we were bringing in, and we got to fill the roster. So we understood, let's bring a guy in now, get him acclimated to our scheme. Kyle has already had issues with other linemen that we've drafted that didn't work out, and trying to, change body types and have them lose weight, gain weight, all this other kind of stuff. So let's bring them in here now. Let's figure out a plan for them. Let's let them learn under this offensive line and in this coaching. Let them at least understand the scheme. And that way, when we put him in, he's good to go. And look what's happening.
Exactly.
Look what's happening.
And that red shirt year means something for these players, man. When they're able to sit, learn behind a veteran that's in front of them that they may have been drafted to take over later for, that means something for them, and they're legit hitting each time when they have that plan in place.
I agree with that, to disagree too, though, because they don't always have a hit. So you're drafting a high player profile. They're supposed to come in here. Let's look at Trey Sermon, right? So they trade up, they get him, and next thing you know, he gone. I never thought I would see a rookie draft pick that high be let go.
My brother's an Ohio State fan, and he has a Sermon jersey.
Well, in college, he was the man. When we drafted him, I couldn't figure out why he was the guy.
Me either. Didn't make sense.
To me, Elijah Mitchell didn't even matter because I didn't even know who he was. Keep it a buck. Right? I knew who Funga was, but I didn't know who Elijah Mitchell was. No disrespect, I just didn't. I knew who Trey Sermon was because, I'm a Big Ten guy, right? So when they drafted him and they let him go, they realized that, hey, man, he's not working out here because we have guys, and this is all about the maturity process of the staff, right? It's okay to make a mistake when you know you got something better in the works. Right. So I think for the offensive lineman where you're going, it may work, especially if they draft a high enough prospect for redshirting, right? It may work because I think Nick Zakiel is going to come in and replace Mike McGlinchey or Jake Brindle. Like, he's playing one of them two positions. So there's a possibility that you're right. But then there's sometimes they miss on them joints.
Yeah. And I don't expect 100%, right? But as long as it matches, as long as the attitude is there from the player, and as long as they are coachable and teachable, you'll see the difference each time. And if they're able to take that redshirt year, and it's been proven quite a few times. Look at Huff this year. Look at Banks this year. We have those players that are in place that are playing really well, based on being able to sit behind somebody and learn the role.
But I would argue that Huff saw more playing time as a rookie. Huff and Elijah Mitchell, I would say, saw the most playing time as the rookies in that class that were drafted way ahead of them. That's crazy. But it's because
for sure. And Huff was one of our main special team players last year.
Speaking of Huff, here's the story about him. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, all right? Here's the main thing about Huff. Remember, what was Huff's goal in his rookie season? You guys remember what his goal was? I talked about this on the Wayne Breezy show. Mose, you remember what his goal was his rookie season? His goal was to make the Pro Bowl as a special team player.
Oh, wow.
You know what his goal was this season?
To make the Pro Bowl. I know. I heard that. Yeah.
So, like,
and what's dope is that Gibson was telling the story how when he came in, he had a Pro Bowl player in front of him. That's what Gibson told him. And Gibson said, you know what, Huff? My job then is to make sure that you make that goal this year. And look at that coming to fruition.
That's that real right there. That's that realness. And that's
each one teach one, man.
Hey, man. That's what it's all about. But back at the end of the day, you got to make that tackle, dog.
1,000%.
he got to make
1,000%.
he's got to make that tackle. A couple of injuries just to put on your radar. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles did leave the game with a neck injury, but he's listed day-to-day. Not sure what that means because it's an earlier week. Hence why we got to play on Sunday, but it is what Saturday, but it is what it is. Ambry Thomas, who's been a special teamer the majority of this year when he's available to play. He has a ankle injury, an irritated ankle at that. It's a possibility that he doesn't dress this week. He didn't play last week, so there's a possibility. But we'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Let's talk about this real quick because here's what's going down. Brock Purdy, Rookie of the Year candidate, according to Matt Mayoko. All right. So I don't know if he's making an assumption or if this is true. So I don't know. That's why I put Matt Mayoko, and if y'all got a problem with it, you can add him. Don't add me.
Yeah.
Right.
Since he's been playing, he's been balling, and here's some of the other candidates that he put in here. Which made me kind of think this might be valid because he put these other candidates in here. All right. So I'll go ahead and read to you the candidates. Running back Kenneth Walker III from Seattle, 1,000-yard running back, 9 TDs. Wide receiver from the Jets, Garrett Wilson, 83 receptions, 1,100 yards, 4 TDs. Brock Purdy, 49ers quarterback. I like how he put 6-0 because he gave him that Miami win, right? 1,374 yards, 67.1 passer rating. Completion percentage, 13 TDs and 4 INTs, 107.3 rating. I thought Brock only had 3 INTs, but clearly he must have got one. He got one in this. No, he didn't get one last game. Remember the week before. No. I always thought he had 3 TDs, but it's 4.
All right. I think he had one against.
He had one in the beginning of the season when he came in at the game.
Punt type of one. Yep.
He's had 3 TDs since he was starting.
Correct. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, man? Those are some pretty heavy candidates. I saw Moses' face. I'm gonna let Moses go first on this one.
Where's Christian Watson?
I don't think Christian Watson is.
He started late. He started late.
He was a late bloomer. Same thing with Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker will probably be in that bottom list for me. Offensive Rookie of the Year is either between Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave because they're the only two that started the season and ended the season and kind of grew and progressed and settled into that number 1 wide receiver type of role throughout the season. And they both produced. So I think it's Garrett Wilson. For me, it's Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Kenneth Walker, then Christian Watson. That's how I would rank them 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, what Brock did was great, but I think he came in too late into the season for him to really be considered, although he's been playing really, really well.
But you talk about a quarterback that came in as a third-string guy.
Yep.
And it's 6-0, bro.
I know.
Like that's tough.
Yeah, but a lot of the voters are gonna say you put Brock Purdy on the Texans. Is he going 6-0?
Come on, like
can't do that.
You can't. They're gonna say it, but
they're gonna say.
I get what you're saying. That's a team stat. Wins are a team stat.
All right. So look, I'm just saying he helps this team go 6-0.
No, absolutely. He's been doing his job and exceeding expectations.
That's it.
But when they talk about giving someone the award, it's what have you done over the course of the season? Because Offensive Rookie of the Year is of the entire year, not just 5 or 6 weeks.
Right. Can I ask y'all both though? You said he's exceeding expectations. Do you think that's because there were low expectations or no expectations for Brock? Or do you think just genuinely as a backup quarterback, he's exceeding expectations for any backup QB in this league?
I think just as a backup quarterback, as a backup quarterback, you're expected to, it's next man up. So you're expected to come in and keep the ship afloat until the starter comes back, right? But he's done so well that he's not operating this team as a backup quarterback. He's assuming that I am the starting quarterback of this franchise and I'm going to walk that way. I'm gonna talk that way. I'm gonna practice that way. I'm gonna play that way. So that's what I would think, not just the expectations that were set on him, because we don't know that. We weren't in the room with him and Kyle Shanahan and Brian Greasy and say, okay, for your first year as a rookie, this is what we want you to accomplish. We don't know that just from outside looking in as a backup quarterback and what a backup is expected to do. There's no other backup quarterback that played this year that is doing what Brock Purdy is doing.
Got it. Breezy, what do you think?
I can argue and say I can't think of any starting quarterbacks that's kind of doing what Brock is doing. So I'm not going to elude from your question, though. Fair, you had a fair question.
Look, no stipulations, but
no stipulations. But nah. So I kind of agree with Mose, but I also think that there were just no expectations, and I think one of the reasons why Brock Purdy is succeeding is because Kyle. I think you said this, Fair.
House money.
Who the fuck am I going to play? Like
house money.
And so for Kyle Shanahan, this is like, you know what, kid? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? All right, cool. Just go out there and do it. Like, and I'm not saying he's not running the plays, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Johnny Dell and I got this film breakdown we about to do this week, and we're gonna show you his deficiencies. And the reason why we're doing it is because we're gonna pretend that we're preparing for Brock Purdy. So I want y'all to see where Brock Purdy still has to work. And so I'm not that's why I said there's zero expectations. You're not expecting him to be developed. Hell, I'm not even expecting Trey Lance to be developed. I want him to go out there and help this team win. That I expect. But for him to be developed, nah, he needs work. And same thing with Brock. When you go back and look at some of these plays, and I was looking at him like, yo, how Brock missed this dude? Like, how he missed this read? And so you're gonna get that. And the only thing is will he continue to progress when they start throwing exotic looks at him in the playoffs? See, a lot of people be like, yo, the playoffs, they just got to play this team. Do I feel like they're going to beat the Seahawks? 100%. But I guarantee you, don't sleep on Pete. He will trick you. He will throw something exotic. I don't know if they have the depth. And if you can wear them out over a course period of time, then you're good. But so Brock's got a really tall task ahead of him, and I think Brock will take this team to the Super Bowl. If you ask me, do I think Brock will win the Super Bowl? I don't think that's what the league wants.
Got it.
I'll leave it at that.
Oh, don't talk about. Don't talk.
Yeah, we'll wait until if we actually get there. When we get there, but we say wins.
It screams rigged.
Yeah.
Fudge.
Let's not go there.
That's why I said it.
Okay.
It screams rigged.
But let's do your narratives, right?
Right.
Did you guys watch the Patriots Bills game?
Yeah.
When had the Patriots, with probably the greatest special team player of all time in Matthew Slater,
ever 2 kickoff returns in the same game.
Come on, bro.
Wow. And the first one opening up the game.
That's wild.
Like the opening kickoff.
Come on, bro.
To get everybody excited about football again.
Come on, bro.
For that team in that stadium.
Can we keep it nitty gritty, bro?
You get it back onto football, because essentially that's why people were up in arms about a lot of people's tweets. We're not going to mention names, but a lot of people were like, oh, the games have to resume. Like, we have to play these games out. There are seeding implications. It was more about football and the business of making money than a person's actual life. But once we get through the humanity portion of what we're talking about and what we're doing, now when it is really back to football, first play of the game, opening kickoff.
I just want to put out there nothing, because I love GSU for one. But the moment this conspiracy came, he said, "What time tomorrow, Breezy?" That's how I know you love me, bro. You just don't like that. And that's cool. 11 a.m., man. 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, guys. If you got to dip out. 11 a.m. to breathe the way Breezy show. It's not a conspiracy, fam. It's just narratives. They everywhere. And I can't help it if I pay attention to stuff that don't seem to make clear, concise sense in my head, if that makes any sense. It's unclear. But look, I like hey man, and then how come the game was so damn close?
Has to be.
Two return touchdowns and the game was close. I mean, Josh Allen did his thing, but 2 return touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. What was the score, that final score of that game?
35-23.
It was closer than what you thought because those interceptions and that fumble came at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
So my point is it was closer and the Patriots had a chance to at least make it closer. At least. But here's the thing. I think Brock Purdy has everything that he needs, mainly to help this team win a Super Bowl. I think the team is built to win a Super Bowl on both sides, on all 3 phases, right? And even in the coaching, because the number one thing that I talked about earlier on the show was, the coaches adjust. I don't know how they get the players to adjust. I don't know what's in the bananas that they eat at halftime, but whatever it is, y'all, they figure it out. And so that's the scariest part of this team. The fact that even if they down, they find a way to adjust. I don't know if they want to be down in the playoffs, but you can be up in the playoffs and then lose momentum coming out of the half. For some reason, the 49ers aren't built that way. And that's why I just really feel like this team can win it all. I think my main thing was about the Brock Purdy Rookie of the Year candidate was, should he even be considered as a Rookie of the Year? And Mose, I kind of feel like you don't think he should. Fair, do you feel like he should?
I mean, I think everybody should be considered, but, do these 6 games blow away somebody else's 16, 17? No. If he may have played 10, then we may be creeping into that number where it's like, he's up over 2,000 yards. He's up close to 2,500 yards. He's at, 20 some odd touchdown. Then it starts getting a little fishy.
But it's trajectories too. So football also is based off of, if they played 10 games, he would be here.
Right. But just that double-digit figure, I think you wouldn't be able to deny him, though. With such a small sample size, he played less than, what is that, like almost a third of the season. It's tough to kind of throw him in that category, man. As much as I would like for him to be, I think it's tough.
In the voting, how does the wins factor in? Because the Saints suck.
Right.
The Jets were bad too, and the Seahawks weren't that great either. They might even have close records. I don't know.
Right. I would say that if you're on a team, that for something like Rookie of the Year or something like that, I wouldn't think that has as much impact as like MVP. I think Rookie of the Year, offensive, defensive, is just that best player regardless of what your team is doing. And a lot of times that occurs because, you're a top pick and your team isn't that good. The roster isn't that good. So they're going to, drop that consideration compared to what like an MVP looks like. I think that's more of has somewhat of a team bias there with the MVP. If your team's doing well, then you tend to be able to be considered as an MVP. If you're throwing for 6,000 yards and you won 3 games, it's tough to win the MVP freaking award. But for Rookie of the Year, offensive, defensive, is just typically that person that's been playing lights out for the year as a rookie.
Okay, I like it. Let's go ahead and end the show on a positive note, because it's Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. You guys think he solidified the Defensive Player of the Year? 18.5 sacks, NFL 2022 sack leader. I think he was number 1 in pressures as well. I haven't checked the newest pressure rate listing that's out, but he was leading in pressures. This kid is probably going to be the most dominant defensive player in the league for the next decade. So let's talk about him. Defensive Player of the Year, fair first, Mo second.
I mean, yeah, just based off what I said previously about the Rookie of the Year side of it and dibbling into the MVP side, the stats are there, the dominance is there. You have to game plan for Nick Bosa. The team is doing well. He led the league in one of the top defensive metric stats and is number 1 or number 2 in pressures, which puts just that pressure on that quarterback every single game, every single week in, week out. Defensive player of the year, Nick Bosa. Give it to him.
Okay.
He locked that up 3 weeks ago. So
yeah. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. We just waiting on the award, which he didn't win the sack. He didn't get the sack.
Who else could they give it to?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, who else would have been the candidates? I mean, Myles Garrett had 16 sacks. I believe Micah Parsons had 16 sacks. I know they don't go off of just sacks, but like, who else was the candidate? The candidates.
I think Parsons was up there.
No, Parsons. He had 13 and a half.
13 and a half sacks. Damn, he had a big drop. Remember, it was close.
Yeah, he fell off. If they give it to anybody else,
Garrett, maybe?
No, Hassan Reddick.
Oh,
Reddick,
okay.
yeah. He was creeping.
So let's get back to that.
Hassan Reddick has 16 tackles. He's got 3 passes defense. He's got 5 forced fumbles and 3 fumbles recovered. Like, Hassan Reddick went off this year.
Can we get to that though? Because I'm glad you mentioned him. Because did you watch Nick Bosa's presser?
Yeah, he talked about him.
So he said that he was waiting to see how it kind of fared when they pulled Reddick out of the game, and that's when he kind of didn't go back in the game. So Nick knew that was the guy.
That if they give it to anybody else but me, it's him.
Good job.
Well, he just said he mainly wanted to make sure that he ended the season as the sack leader in the NFL.
Yeah. So how many sacks does Reddick have, you said?
16.
Oh, he did finish with 16.
Yeah.
So it was him and Garrett that had 16.
Him and Garrett have 16.
Understood.
Chris Jones has 15 and a half. Matthew Judon has 15 and a half. Alex Highsmith has 14 and a half. Michael Parsons 13 and a half. JJ Watt, Max Crosby, and Brian Burns 12 and a half.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch next year. Nick Bosa comes back even more dominant, and then what TJ Watt is going to do in Pittsburgh next year.
Healthy, 100% healthy. Yeah,
I'm excited for that. And is this the end of the defensive, guy Aaron Donald? Like, is this the end? May he call it quits? Remember, he talked about
retiring
doing that last year.
Yeah, and now he's about to lose McVay. And could this be the end of him as well?
Is McVay done?
He's thinking about it.
He teetering.
He said, give him a couple of days. That's what he's saying.
He said he got to think about it, and then it all depends on if one of these TV networks bring him the bag.
They're gonna bring him the bag. He's young, and he knows football. He'll get the bag.
What a difference a year makes, man. We all wrote off Seattle after trading away
Russell Wilson. Yeah.
And they look like they made the best decision in their franchise history by doing that. This is crazy.
Because they get to play as well as they want to play.
And they get those top picks because Denver's terrible.
Denver tanked, and now they got the third or fourth overall pick.
So they playing with house money too.
They could still get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
So it's a good question for you, Mos. Then, so this will not be the end of Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll loses 3 to the 49ers. He's coming back.
Oh, he's coming back for sure.
I mean, you can't trust the man with his AARP card and his handicap sticker, and he just is in a position where the red carpet is literally rolled out for the man now over there in Seattle. Right. And he's gonna sit there and take it.
They got a bunch of solid young pieces. Like they still got DK, they still got Tyler Lockett.
That's good pieces to get a young quarterback
too.
They
drafted Kenneth Walker, who turned out to be a stud. The lineman they drafted, Charles Cross. He's looked like he's going to be
Cross is solid.
They got a linebacker that I like too. Is his last name Barton or something? I can't remember. They got a linebacker out there that I think.
And what's his name was injured all year, right? Their safety,
Jamal Adams was out all year, so he's coming back. Tariq Woolen was a gem that they found late in the draft.
Crazy.
He's in the candidacy for defensive player of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. He's nice. And he's tall as heck.
Yeah, 6'4", runs a 4.3. Like, they got a lot
man.
of solid young pieces. And now, because of the Denver falafel, you about to have a top 5 draft pick. And you can get your quarterback of the future who can sit behind Geno Smith for a year. Because Geno's going to want to come back and, you know, build on the year that he had this year with a better team that has more chemistry.
Right.
Yikes, bro.
So man. just to take a quick look at Seattle's depth chart, it looks like their starters are all good to go. Like, this is they're going to be full throttle. Now, I'm not saying that these starters are going to be able to match up well, but this won't be an easy game. It's not one of them, you know, get down or lay down games. I think Ryan Neal, who has been replacing Jamal Adams, he's listed as out as of right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. And other than the guys that are on the IR, so we're not going to talk about the IR guys. They're not going to be playing. No Goodwin, no Eskridge, Cody Thompson, Travis Homer, Will Dissly. So they'll be without one of their tight ends. But they do got Colby Parkinson and Noah Fant. So those are 2 guys we still got to watch out for.
Yep.
So no Jordan Brooks, and like no Ryan O'Neal. Those guys are listed as out. Like I said, we'll keep you guys posted throughout the week. But their depth chart is looking pretty solid. But you know whose depth chart is looking solid too? They're Niners, yo.
I see a lot of Seattle fans in the comments too, man. That's cool.
And they need to be.
Y'all should be here
because
welcome to the show.
When I was in Seattle, not one fan thought they were going to win that game.
0. And they should keep that same energy this week.
But what makes them think they're going to win this game?
I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like it's third time's a charm, bro. I feel like that's it. They just you know what? Third time's a charm.
I got you guys. Well, listen, man, great show. Let's get to these contributions. Jacqueline starts it off. She started the show off. Hope everyone is enjoying their evening. Thank you so much for the super chat contribution, Ms. Knox. We truly appreciate it over here. We hope you're having a great evening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Gammon Brown. Go ahead, Fair.
Oh, man, I don't got my glasses. Apologies for my absence. I am in the midst of training. Shout out to the Nitty and the Gritty. This channel is flirting with 2K subs. That means you Seahawks fans need to subscribe. It's playoff time. Let's close the gap. This is family. Thank you, WB, for the community.
We appreciate you, Cuzzo. Thank you so much, man. And we hope your training is going well. You know what I'm saying? All right, Mose, you take this one, brother.
I hope not to butcher this. I want to say Chanel L. Mather.
Damn. I can't help you. I forgot.
Oh, you already asked what the name was?
we had this conversation, and I'm not going to mess it up again. So, yeah.
See, you threw me out there on the plank,
I didn't even think like that. Because we thought it was Shaniel, right?
Shaniel, like Daniel with
like
the
Daniel.
okay?
But I think it's Chanel.
I think it's Chanel.
Chanel L. Mather. Well, however you pronounce your name, if you can help us out with that, we appreciate the contribution. Awesome show as always. Having watched his 6 games, my question for you all is: Purdy an overall better quarterback than Jimmy? Please explain why or why not. Also, don't underestimate Pete Carroll. The rivalry is real.
Hold on, wait. There was an addition to it.
And therefore, I'm actually nervous about this.
Gotcha.
The real question.
Okay. I mean, to answer the last part of your question first, yes, the rivalry is real. And I think Pete Carroll has proven that he is a bright enough coach to where when you give him an opportunity to scheme and plan for a specific team, when you get into the tournament, when you get into playoff time, he doesn't have to worry about, the next game after this, who's coming up on the schedule, because he won't know. It's you have to prepare for this one game and this one game only to even get an opportunity to prepare for the next one. So I think with that, he can always be a very, very dangerous head coach with what he schemes and prepares for. I'm sure every coach, when you think about the playoffs and potentially playing someone in your division that you've already played twice, there is something in your book of plays that you haven't used that you're holding specifically for that team because it's something that they haven't seen and won't be prepared for. So absolutely, you're 100% correct. Kyle Shanahan cannot allow his ego to underestimate Pete Carroll. Your first question is Brock Purdy a better overall quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo? Yes, I would say he is. I like the way he sees the field. I like the way he goes through his progressions. I love his demeanor on the field. I love his escapability and his ability to able to move the pocket, to sense pressure coming. There's been plenty of film that we've seen where Brock Purdy is able to escape and sense the pressure without even seeing it coming. He just knows he has that internal clock that all QBs should have. So all of that, together, I think, he is definitely a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Dope.
Very well said, man. Chanel, I believe, is how you pronounce the name. Chanel. All right. So I hope we got it right, and I hope he's saying correct again in the chat because we said it two different ways. So I don't know what he was saying correct, but John V says it's Chanel. So we're gonna go with that. Listen,
appreciate
man.
You, John V.
Look, the 49ers. It's a long week. Short week, actually, right? Play on Saturday. They just got to go out there prepared. I think some of these mishaps that we continue to see, especially on that defensive side and even on the offensive side, because he had a couple of drop passes, Juwan Jennings, and so I think that they got to shut up, Mose. See, I was trying to sneak it in there.
Pause.
That was a great pause, bro. They got to catch the ball. Juwan had a drop on first down for 9 yards, bro. So anyway, first, okay, I got to ask this question because I thought personally that the pass to Brandon Ayuk, which he had to die for, was a drop, but it shouldn't have been a drop. I felt like it was a bad throw.
Was.
Okay. That's not just me?
No.
Moses stuck on that guy. All right, so we're gonna
Moses. Once you say Jennings' name, Moses comes to life like never before. You ever put a quarter in the little machine in the freaking mall, and the little wizard guy, it's like lifts comes to life. Like that's Moses. Once you say Jennings' name, that's Moses. Just put a quarter in there, and now he's awake, and now he's ready to answer any question. What was that movie? Tom Hanks, Big. Yeah, that's Mose right there.
Whatever, yep. I used to call it a Jumanji. But I wonder if that was the name of the thing, but I'm sure it was.
That's it.
All right, that works. All right, Mose, I'm gonna let you keep looking like that. So, Mose, which Seahawks player must you game plan for and eliminate? Metcalf, Walker, Lockett, or Geno Smith?
This is only offensive?
I mean, yeah, I'm not really worried about their defense, but I feel like if you take away their offense, their defense will be on the field longer, and you ain't got to worry about the defense. So that's my thought process.
Okay.
This is the poll question too, by the way.
DK, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett, or Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to say DK. And the only reason why I say DK is I feel like DK is the emotional leader of that team.
Right.
But he has a high level of emotional immaturity.
Like it.
And when Mooney Ward is in his grill, like he's going to be, like he was last game,
yep.
Like Mooney Ward owns a parking spot in DK's head.
Right there.
So you already know DK is coming into this game to try to embarrass him, to make him look bad. He's going to be overly aggressive early, and all that's going to do is work to our advantage. So I feel like if you get DK out of the game, and I'm not talking about with catches and yards, I'm talking about get him emotionally out of the game. Get him emotionally so riled up that he's not focused on the game anymore. He's not focused on the team anymore. He's not focused on doing what he needs to do to help the team win. He's worried about showing up one player on our defense. So I think if you eliminate him,
Yeah.
Nobody else on that offense scares me because they're going to be right in that emotional hole with him.
Yeah, man. I mean, Mooney parked his Bentley on lot 15, row Z, right where DK usually parks. He put that thing right in DK's memory bank, and he's just living there rent free, man. It was great to see last week. Last time that we played them, and you know what, man? It's been a while since you've seen a 49er player, a 49er cornerback, do that to a top receiver. It's been a while, so that was dope to see. I'm just excited for that rivalry to continue, and build off that. So I agree. I think it's definitely DK.
So I like this, right? I like this conversation. I like that you said it. And I'm gonna read the stats in a little bit. But if I had to go with somebody, I'm going with Kenneth Walker, yo. I want to make this team one-dimensional, right? And the reason why I want to make it one-dimensional is because of Mooney Ward. So now that means that the team just has to figure out a way to take away their tight ends, which I like our safeties and linebackers to cover those guys.
Yep.
And I also like the simple fact that I think Lockett can be contained. I think that would be the guy that would get them yards, because let me just read to you the stats, because you guys like stats. So I'll read to you the stats. All right. They played 2 times. All right. 7 targets, 38 yards allowed, 2 pass breakups, and 0 touchdowns. Now, if I'm Seattle, and I don't know if you could do this with DK, I'm trying to get DK on somebody else other than Mooney Ward. Like, somebody else got to cover me. Put this dude in the slot with Jimmy Ward. Put him on the other side. Try to figure it out, because if I'm Seattle, I have to find a way to get DK Metcalf involved. Because like Mo said, the moment you get in his head and he's out the game, their offense is a no-show. And now you're going to have them reaching and trying to do too many things, right? Geno Smith's going to try to make plays and force passes, and there goes your interceptions. From the defensive side, I like that John put this out there because we talked about this earlier in the show. George Kittle murdered this, wrong choice of words. Yeah. He did his thing against the Seattle Seahawks in the last game, and Woolen is the truth. He's the guy. So our wide receivers didn't really get off. So I'm excited to see what we're going to do a little bit differently, because I guarantee you there's going to be some CMC out there lined up wide with Juice in the backfield, Debo on the other side, maybe a little Ray. I would like to see Ray, CMC, and Debo on the field at the same time. I just want to see what the hell will happen out of that formation. 2 wide receivers, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and put Juice back there too. Or mix it up and put Elijah Mitchell back there. That's 2 running backs on the field, 1 split out. Well, I don't know. There's so much stuff that they can do. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. But Woolen would be that guy you got to figure out on the defense. Can we all touch and agree, or do you think there's another person?
Monster. He's a monster.
Lockdown cornerback.
For me, it's Quandre Diggs. Just because he's a veteran.
He's the vet, yeah.
He's a veteran. So
we stopped him last time, though. We took him out last time. Figured it out.
We did, but again, the third time we're seeing a team. They now have film on Brock Purdy. He's one of those guys that he likes to bait. So if he finds something, and let's hope, I know it's going to be good, but let's hope you and Johnny Dell's breakdown isn't too good, and somebody from Seattle don't slide that film breakdown into Quandre Diggs DM.
You know what?
Because if y'all film is too good, and I better not hear well, it was actually a 49er content creator who put out the film on Brock Purdy, and I studied it.
It won't be none of that.
Thank you to the 49er faithful community for giving me the blueprint. So he's such a smart veteran cerebral player, and it's cerebral. So I feel like in some way he can possibly affect this game, whether that's a strip or whether it's him baiting the rookie quarterback into throwing, a pass that he doesn't want to throw, and then it gets picked off. So I would definitely look at Quandre Diggs.
Yo, GSU, just meet me at the motherfucking game,
Right?
bro.
Like, come on, dog. Like,
game,
he want to shoot the fair one with one of us so
No,
bad.
It's
like,
it's not y'all. Trust me, it's not y'all.
I can't even tell if this is a shot.
And I didn't even say Seattle was scouting. I said a Seattle fan take the film and slide it into the DN. That's what I said. I said a fan trying to help their team out.
I leave you alone. You've been picking at me since '88.
Nah, bro. You coming a far second to me, brother.
You think so?
Well, yes.
Okay. I thought I
not even close.
No. GSU was on Mo's nose when I had Fair on Mo's nose, and he was going at Fair all day.
Time.
All day.
Sorry, I'm used to
it.
Yo,
from the moment the intro finished until we said peace, GSU was in. He even had a comment that, you know how the comments come in after you hit end broadcast? Yes. He even had one sneak in after the broadcast that me and Fair was talking about after the show.
Yeah, man.
Yo, just meet me in Cali, bro, this weekend, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna put some boxing gloves on, we're gonna handle our handles, and then we're gonna drink to my birthday. That's what we're gonna do.
Amen. Yeah. You got first shot for Breezy because it's his birthday.
Real G's, yo. Real G's. Listen, great show. We got a couple of more contributions that we definitely got to read. Thank y'all for the contributions, the Super Chat contributions. All right. I felt like I missed one. Can you go back and scroll up? I'll read this one. And then if you can go back and scroll, there's one before this one. I believe there was one.
It was that one. It was the one that's above
before this.
Yeah.
It's from Chanel. Gotcha.
Yeah, I grabbed it.
Delvin Thomas, thank you for the contribution. The fact that we sweeped the conference, we shouldn't have to play any of those chumps. This is fun. It's an insult. We must stomp them in the ground. I need a victory that is telling to where the 49ers laid out a can of whip ass. I would love to whip ass the Seattle Seahawks. I want that type of a victory. But let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you this. Would you had rather played Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, the Giants.
I don't care who. It
don't matter. Ultimately,
Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones. I don't care if it was the Detroit Lions. I'm
gonna keep it a buck, Mose. I feel you.
I like the Lions.
I didn't want to see their run game, bro. Like, I know we stopped the run. I know we can stop the run.
That's what we do, though.
Huh? Jamal Williams is a different monster, bro.
Well, we didn't have nobody in Atlanta. And Jamal, all right, I like Jamal Williams too, but he the goal line back. Like,
no, he not.
Yes, he is, bro.
I mean,
like
the majority
80% of his 18 touchdowns came from the 2-yard line or closer.
Hey, man, when we had Boobie Dixon, ain't nobody was complaining how that motherfucker got in the end zone.
He ain't had no 18.
He definitely didn't, yo. He broke Barry Sanders' record. But he also has some sustainable, not big runs, but like 8-9 yard carries. Like, he was doing his thing.
He's been doing his thing all season, yo.
I would say Jamal Adams is equivalent to Ron Artest. I'm gonna leave it at that.
If you didn't Ron. Is this Meta or Ron Artest?
Sorry, Meta.
Yeah, which one?
Ron Artest was the fighter.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And I love that you asked me that question because they were two different pieces.
Yeah, they were definitely two different people.
They were two different people.
They were definitely two different people.
Ron Artest worked at Circuit City during his offseason as a rookie. Like, this dude different, bro. He different. Like, he don't got no sense.
NBA was guaranteed money.
He was in the NBA making $7 million a year working at Circuit City, bro.
I love y'all.
Best Buy,
bro. What kind of discount was you trying to get, my G?
He had to do something to keep his brain going, bro.
Bro, Circuit City was the spot. Every Tuesday, movies and CDs, man, it was on sale. They was on sale. Chanel is back with the contribution. We got a double one from him, so we'll read both of them. I think you stopped the run game. Then you can pass rush. Smith, therefore, Metcalf is already taken out because of the pass rush. Ooh. Okay. Good.
Right.
That's the game plan.
I mean, that goes to what you said, Breezy. You want to stop Kenneth Walker. You want to make his team one-dimensional.
Yo, make Geno Smith beat us, yo. If Geno Smith beat us, I'll shake the motherfucking hand, bro. Geno Smith, in my opinion, ain't that dude. I don't care how good of a season he looked like he was having.
I mean, he got Seattle's passing record. He got more passing yards than Russ ever had.
Guess he ain't got them shits against the 49ers defenses.
That's true.
What he will do though is run, and that is my only concern. But you know what? You might as well get prepared. You might as well get prepared because you're gonna have to face a Hurts. You're gonna have to face a Daniel Jones. And when
listen,
you get
he keep taking hits like the one he took against. First of all, I don't feel like that was a personal foul penalty. Like Jalen Ramsey was already there, and all Jalen did was you got another grown man running at you full speed. All Jalen did was brace for the hit.
You knew they was gonna call that though. Moses.
I knew they was gonna call it, but that was crap. That was bogus.
We can say what we want about Jalen. He's not a dirty player though.
He's not. He's never been a
dirty
player.
The rules. He's annoying. He's frustrating. He talks.
He talk a lot of trash. He run his mouth. But he one thing that Jalen Ramsey is not is a dirty player. So but talking about Geno Smith, he keep taking hits like that. He ain't gonna be the quarterback for much longer. And he better not run into Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Jimmy Ward, or Talanoa Hufanga like that.
Yo, they coming. Somebody's cracking him.
Yeah, for sure.
Like legit. And they'll do it. They'll do their best to make sure that it's legal.
That is legal.
But my only concerns though is that because he is a quarterback and a premier one at that, he will get a call. And I don't want that to get to the 49ers mental. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I know we thinking ahead, but let's talk about Geno Smith because let's keep it about. He's gonna run. He's gonna have to run.
I mean, the second time we played him, he only had one rush for 18 yards. That was a big one. First time, he only had 2 carries for 2 yards, so he really didn't do nothing there. But like you said, when we start to shut this run down, and Kenneth Walker and Travis Homer and them guys can't get any yards, and they're struggling moving the ball and sustaining drives and getting first downs, then Pete is absolutely going to go to Geno Smith running the ball more. So, and we talked about him being a good coach and having a game plan. If one thing that we've been talking about is this defense struggling with mobile quarterbacks, you think Pete Carroll don't know that?
Right.
So that could be something that's in his bag of tricks where the first time we played, he only had 2 carries. The second time he only had 1. He start to run Geno Smith. He's getting the Jalen Hurts treatment, getting anywhere from 10 to 12 carries for them to move the ball, sustain drives, and get first down. So that's something like you said, Breezy, earlier. Like, how do you not get hit with the sucker punch? How do you be prepared for it? Again, read your keys, stay in your lane, stay assignment sound.
Yeah, I definitely don't trust Pete Carroll. I don't trust many old people who can take their teeth out, who do crossword puzzles.
You just said he has answers, bro.
Yo, he do crossword puzzles. You know how the old people also, they be pulling quarters out your ears. Like, I don't trust old people like that, bro. I'm all set. So Pete Carroll, don't trust him. Be on your P's and your Q's for this game. Be ready.
Oh man,
I'm done, bro. I'm done. Good night.
Yo, the old people pulling the quarter out your ear.
Good night, Jack.
Remember that?
Hey, young man, I found this behind your ear. Come on, dog.
Good night, Jacqueline. Thank you so much.
Musty ass quarter away from me, dog. I don't want this quarterback that been sitting in your back pocket for 6 years.
That junk got stains on it,
right? Got bubble gum stuck to it. It got the church mitts that your grandma used to give you.
Order butterscotch.
It's got the empty plastic. Right, it ain't no peppermint in it. It's just the empty plastic wrapper that's stuck to it.
Nobody want that quarter, man. Travels Vlogs POV. Thank you for the super chat contribution. Thoughts of team's permission to interview Adams, the Titans, guys.
Leave our people alone.
It's gonna happen, guys. When you're great,
we're about to lose D'Amico, man. We don't need to lose nobody else.
We're gonna get more comp picks. The way I look at it. Well,
but
Adam Peters.
But Adam Peters, man,
that's the fourth to 7th round guy, man.
Yeah, I
know
he is him. We don't have no early round picks.
I know.
We only got the late ones. So if we lose him this year,
I know,
and he go to Tennessee and all the late round guys that we were supposed to get, he gotta leave like booty butt naked, bro. He can't take no books. Nah, he taking all the notes.
His cell phones get turned
taking all the notes.
He better have them joints backed up on that encrypted drive, bro.
They are. He got them on iCloud. He got them on a home hard drive, and he got them on a flash drive. Like them notes. He is not leaving them notes in Santa Clara. Oh, them notes is coming.
They gone.
Here's the thing, right?
He's gonna draft the next George Kittle. He gonna draft the next Talanoa Hufanga. He gonna draft the next Fred Warner, and we're gonna look at the Tennessee Titans. We're gonna look at the Tennessee Titans in 4 years and be like, "Damn, they look a lot like us."
So he would be going from director of personnel to general manager, and I think Ron Carthen would become the director of personnel for the Titans. I think that's how.
Oh, they trying to get a 2-for-1.
2-for-1.
Yeah, they doubling up.
Damn.
But here's the thing: D'Amico Ryan's decline. Like he said that he's not interested in the Texans. Listen,
there's other options.
That's
D'Amico
interesting.
Ryan's to the Cardinals, guys.
That's interesting because I thought D'Amico would have wanted to go back to the Texans because
I feel like
that's where he played for so long. There's so much turmoil with that organization that
Kyler Murray or Davis Mills.
Kyler Murray.
How ironic is it that Kingsbury gets fired?
Did you hear who they requested to interview though?
Who?
Arizona?
Who?
Jim
Harbaugh? He already declared to come back to Michigan, so I'm not worried about him.
Oh, he's not coming to the NFL?
Nah, he already said he's coming back to Michigan. So I would have punched him right in the motherfucking khakis.
But Arizona was like, "Hey Jim, you want to come back to the NFC West?"
Right here, man.
If he really was coming back to the NFL, he would have thought about that long and hard. Pause.
The greatest 49. Thank you so much. Says great show. Let's get this dub for Bowman. I like that, man.
F Seattle.
If I'm the Niners, I'm watching that stuff, bro. I'm watching how they treated Navarro Bowman after he got injured, bro.
Yep. Right? Mm-hmm.
If I'm Fred Warner, I got my linebackers in the mother freaking room, and I'm like, yo, y'all want to see one of the greatest linebackers of all time? Let's watch 53. He was here when I got here.
They should bring both of them back, actually.
Ooh, to talk?
They should bring 52 and 53 in.
Honorary captains for the game?
What?
And they both well, not this year for Bowman, but Patrick Willis is a Hall of Fame candidate too. What would that do for that young room? Because the 49ers are typically a young team, bro.
Right.
They just got the right pillars in that room, bro.
You want to talk about putting the Energizer in somebody back?
Ooh,
you bring Pat and Navarro back to talk to the team. Fred is going to have a whole nother level of inspirational fire that I don't even think we've seen yet.
I agree. Great show, bros.
Yes, you as well.
Final thoughts, man. Like how we beating this team?
Most certainly. This team has come too far and been through too much
to give up
in the past 3 seasons to get to this point this year with everything we've been through this year to have it end at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks. No. Just for the simple fact of we're not letting the Seattle Seahawks send us home. Any one of these other teams that we haven't played yet. We didn't play Dallas this year. We didn't play Philly this year. We didn't play Minnesota Giants. Any one of these other teams, cool. Not the Seahawks in the first round.
Mm-hmm. I want to get Elena's thoughts. Like, I know I feel like you're a Seahawk fan.
I'm about to say where Mrs. Mose knows that because I ain't your sweetie.
She was talking to somebody in the chat room.
Oh, I hope so. Because I ain't your sweetie. Mrs. Mose knows
in the chat. This is what's going on in the chat. Okay, just want you
to
know.
Okay, okay. Get her. Come on, Christy Marie.
Listen,
come on, Christy Marie.
I'm just curious to know.
Show up for us.
So girls don't want to be called sweeties?
By other girls?
No, that's a derogatory term.
I thought the B word was derogatory. So damn, the word "sweetie" is derogatory now.
No, when it comes from another female, it's derogatory. Really? Female to female, you call another female sweetie. You trying to say something?
Sweetie got some good songs.
Purposely foul.
I just didn't know.
Some good songs, man.
So Saweetie, she's a 49er fan too. Yo, let's try to get her on the show. She's a diehard 49er fan. I believe her grandfather, somebody that she knows, played for the 49ers. So she grew up watching the 49ers. Somebody from her family. I can't remember if it was her uncle, granddad, or whatever it is. I'm not trying to get any women in here punched. Guys, y'all not. Come on, y'all.
See? But see, they telling you. They telling you.
Well, I know. I'm gonna make sure I just delete the word from my vocabulary. I'm not saying B, sweetie, hun, love. I'm just gonna call you by your government name and make sure that shit's spelled right too, because I don't want to get that wrong, get punched either. You know what I'm saying? Chanel, please email me, Wayne, thewayneBreezy@gmail.com. Email me, and I'll see you out there in Santa Clara if you're still watching. All right, make sure you email me. Niner Faithful, it's a bad word for women to use it. Men,
I'm just wondering if women would rather be called sweaty or sweetie.
Don't you try. Now, if we call them sweaty, they probably gonna punch the shit out of us. Now, if we call them sweetie, we'll get a pass. But women, don't you call another woman sweetie or sugar. I want to know why Jack.
That's like a guy going up to another guy. Hey, little man. Time does the bus come?
Like even if y'all in an art, like y'all in a disagreement going back and forth.
Right.
If you call somebody little man in a disagreement, you purposely being disrespectful. You trying to show that you got more power over there, more authority by calling them little man. So that's the same thing woman to women. When they bring out the sweetie, that's letting you know, like, I really don't think you sweet. I'm trying to be polite, but I really won't put hands and feet on you.
Right. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. We got this on Saturday.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it. That's splat.
But we can say sweetheart.
Yeah. They're gonna get all the smoke on Saturday, man. It don't matter.
Let
them talk. It's part of the process. I actually enjoy the junk talk. It makes the sport that much better for me. It makes it that much more fun, and it gets you somebody a little bit of bragging rights after it's all said and done. So if you're gonna talk, just make sure you bring it. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Way to close out that. Hey, Miss Ashley, I called a young lady ma'am, and
like they got dealt with.
Yo, When
I first met my mother-in-law, she asked me a question and I said, yes, ma'am. She looked at me with the deepest, darkest stare and said, don't ever say yes, ma'am to me. And I was like, yes, ma'am. I started stuttering. Like, I don't know what I was growing. Like, when you speak to your elders, you say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. So I was just being polite when she asked me a question. But she looked at me like, you say yes, ma'am, to me one more time, and I'm gonna rip your throat from your neck. I was like, I don't, Tori, what do I say,
bro?
I was just like, Tori,
bro, I would have been mute the whole rest of the conversation.
I was like, Tori, just answer for me. The rest of it. She asked me something, just you answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna text you the answer and you read it.
Right? Yeah. I am not getting my ass whooped at your mom's house today.
Not today. But it'll be missing your first name. That's what I'm doing from now on.
Amen.
I think that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, guys, great show. Love you guys out there. Shout out to all the members of the channel. If you're not a member of the channel, please join the channel. There's 3 different tiers you can join. You don't want to miss out on all the perks that we do. There's weekly perks, monthly perks, all that good stuff. I'll be going through some of those because I'm going to start inviting these Shanahan people. We're going to get them on the show. The Shanahan special. We're going to get them on the show. And I think we're going to create like the Purdy specialist too as well. What did Kenny say? I guess man means
you calling them old. Yeah,
right. I definitely think it's a good idea though, Breezy, for Seahawks fans to follow and subscribe because they'll be able to get more football after this week. You know what I mean? Right. They won't be able to be, I think that's a great way for them. Yeah, for sure. So they'll be able to get more football and follow a team that's still moving on.
It'll be a team that's relevant. No, I got you. So, Ilana, look. Why don't you just go ahead?
I see some other folks in here too.
Yeah, whoever you're a Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be on every day until Friday. I'll be traveling that day, so there'll be no shows on Friday. But
until after the Super Bowl.
And then But great show, guys. Love you. Peachy was still praying for you. Please get well soon. Everybody out there, you are also in our prayers. Stay up, stay faithful. Always, y'all, keep it nitty gritty, baby. Hey, it's playoff time. The Niners are here, and you heard Fred Warner say they about to take it up another notch. It's no more 1-0. It's go hard or go home, baby. It's that time, man. Love y'all. Stay up, stay faithful, y'all. Peace.